Welcome to Kritya-2010 in collaboration with CIIL. We have with us a number of poets of international stature and repute, amongst also other Indian poets. I am Shamla Nair, part of Kritya organizers of the festival. This is our 5th International Poetry Festival, and we have with us Alicia Partnoy from Argentina. We have with us here the director of Kritya 2010, Dr. Rati Saxena, who will tell us more about the festival.
Thank you, Shyamla. As you know that Kritya is an organization which is working in field of art, culture, literature, poetry, and cinema also, and through translation we reach to every part of the world. And this is our 5th year for International Poetry Festivals. We have a journal which comes out every month. This is a web journal, and this is www.kritya-2010, in which we present all sort of poetry and art and culture in this our site. This festival is a dream of Kritya. This is a platform where we bring all the poets and artists from all over the world in one stage, so that we can communicate with each other, we can learn from each other, and we can present ourselves and we can improve ourselves. So this is the 5th poetry festival. First was in Kerala, second was in Jammu and Kashmir, third was again in Kerala, and fourth was in Punjab, and this is the 5th one. We are very happy that we are in Mysore, such a beautiful city, and CIL is collaborating us, giving full support. We are grateful to them, and that's how we run our festivals. This time we have 22 poets from all around the world, and our theme is the exile, trauma, and survival. And we are grateful to Alicia, who has come, who is Argentina, and she is a great poet and writer. Especially she fits to our theme, exile, trauma, and survival.
We are lucky to have with us Miss Alicia Partnoy from Argentina. She is a survivor from the secret detention camps where about 30,000 people disappeared in her country, Argentina. She is best known as the author of The Little School, Tales of Disappearance and Survival, that was published in Argentina in 2006. Her other testimonials include Little Low Flying and The Revenge of the Apple. Her poems, testimonial texts, and scholarships have been widely published in the USA and abroad. Alicia Partnoy served on the boards of directors of PEN, Roadway, and Amnesty International, USA. She is an associate professor at Loyola Marymount University. Partnoy presides over Proyecto VOS, that is Voices of Survivors, an organization that brings survivors of state-sponsored violence to lecture at US universities. Welcome, Alicia. Alicia, you've gone through so much in life. You've survived the little school. You've been tormented, tortured, molested. You've been blindfolded. Your baby has been taken away from you. How did you go through it? And why did you choose poetry as a vehicle of your predicament?
I went through it because I didn't have any other choice then. There was a military dictatorship in my country, and my baby was little, and I had to take a stand. I couldn't allow for my child to be raised under an oppressive regime. So I risked my life, but so were thousands. That's why we have 30,000 disappeared people in my country. A lot of people resisted the dictatorship. Poetry chose me, right?
Okay.
That's what happens to us. Poetry chooses us. We don't choose it. As a child, I was writing poetry. In jail, I was in the concentration camp. I was reciting poetry to my fellow inmates there. We were blindfolded with our hands tied, forced to remain on a mattress. We couldn't speak, but then when we could talk, I would recite a poem sometimes to just to try to give us courage, right? To remind ourselves that we were human, despite of what they tried to do to us.
Yeah.
So when I went to jail, they transferred. I'm very lucky. I'm one of very few survivors, and and because of international pressure, because of the work of people telling on this. So when I was survived the detention, the secret detention camp, and was transferred to the prison for women political prisoners in Buenos Aires, I started to recite poetry there for my friends. Right?
Okay.
And that's when I became a performer of my poetry. And that's when I use poetry when, as a present. We didn't have many things, so I would write a poem for someone for her birthday. We wrote poems for our children, so we would send to our children. And poetry was a help to survive. It was like a balsam, something soothing, comforting. In the jail, when I started to recite my poetry, I said I had my very first captive audience, because my friends couldn't go to any other programs.
Captive audience
in
quotations.
Yeah, between quotations. You have to laugh a little bit, right? One of the poems I wrote to my daughter when I was there, the poems used to come back. You couldn't send poetry out. Sometimes you were lucky and they allowed it to go out. But this poem never left the prison. It came back to me with a big stamp that says censored. Marxist contents. Okay, you're going to hear what this poem is. It's called Lullaby Without the Onion, and I'll do it in English. I'll read it in English, and I'll sing it in Spanish.
Would be nice.
I'm not a good singer, but since it's Spanish, and it's a lullaby, and the onion references to Miguel Hernandez, a poet of the Civil War, whose wife was, while he was in jail, whose wife was suffering a lot of hunger, and she only had onions and bread. And so the baby, she was breastfeeding this baby that was eating onions with the milk. So he had that, and it's a very important poet for us. So that's why Lullaby Without the Onion. Your mother isn't in prison. Your mother has birds in the blood. Grates and bars don't detain her, nor padlocks, nor is she in prison, nor has she left you. Her sadness is dove, her pain is swallow, her days are sparrows seeking your street corners. Your mother isn't in prison, girl. Your mother throws the birds or her blood into flight. If they get to your soul and make nests, you can shout to them, it has dawned. Villa Devoto Prison, 1978. Nana sin la cebolla. Tu madre no está presa, tu madre tiene pájaros en la sangre, no la detienen. Las rejas, los barrotes, ni los candados, ni tu madre está presa, ni te ha dejado. Su tristeza es paloma, su dolor golondrina, sus días son gorriones buscando tus esquinas. Tu madre no está presa, niña, tu madre. Echa a volar los pájaros de su sangre. Si llegan hasta tu alma y allí hacen nido, que tú puedas gritarles que ha amanecido, que tú puedas gritarles que ha amanecido.